Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. Today I'd like to share with you my third paper pumpkin alternative project using the August 2020 Paper Pumpkin Kit, World's Greatest. So this card was kind of inspired by some of the original cards in the kit. So let me go ahead and show you those now. So these are the cards that you can make using the kit. If you would like to watch me unbox these videos or see some of my other alternative projects, you can visit the link in the top right-hand corner. This one's a really fun shaker card. So the inspiration behind this card came from this card a little bit, and I really loved this card base, and so we're using half a sheet of that card base to create the background pattern. And then we've got this yellow watercolor to kind of help pop out our center element. Instead of using the ribbon stamp that came in the kit, I wanted to create a more three-dimensional ribbon. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create one of these paper rosettes today. And then I also loved the idea from this card with the ribbon coming across. And so I wanted to kind of give that same look here, but create more of a three-dimensional look again by doing some of that folding. So I'm going to show you what I did to create that look. And then we've got the same sentiment here as "You're the best" with the gold in the center. So let's really quickly look at the stamp set that came in the kit. So I'm just going to turn this around so you can see a little bit clearer. We've got this really fun ribbon image that you can use either as a medal or as like a #1 ribbon with some ribbons hanging down. And then we've got this metal ribbon clip that you can add to it, something like this, to create more of a metal look. And then these really great greetings. And you can really choose any greeting to place in the center for your card. So let's go ahead and get started creating this card. So some of the things you're going to need from the kit: you're going to need one of the card bases. Now I've already cut the card base in half and used the first half in my first alternative project. You're also going to need 6 inches of the 1-inch Pacific Point ribbon that came in the kit. And you'll want one of the gold die cuts, as well as one of the small circles, and then the yellow watercolor die cut. You'll need from your own stash a card base, and this is just your regular size, so it's cut to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and scored at 4 1/4. And then you'll need a piece of Mint Macaron cardstock, and this is 11 inches long, 1 inch thick, and we're going to go ahead and score this to create our rosette. Now off camera, I've got a hot glue gun that is warming up, and you're going to want that to hold your rosette together. So to begin making your rosette, you're going to need either a scoreboard like this Simply Scored tool from Stampin' Up, or you can use a paper cutter. Most paper cutters will have a cutting blade and a scoring blade, and so you could also use this. A scoring board like this one gives you a more precise score line, but this will work as well. So however much distance you put between your score lines is how thick your rosette is going to be. So this card is pretty thick, so I'm not sure this is one we could put in the mail without adding some extra postage. So we're going to try to keep it as thin as we can, and so we're going to go ahead and score at 1/4 of an inch. Now what I've learned from doing these in the past is that whenever you score, so I'll show you, so when you make a score line like this, then what's happening is that you've created an area where you have broken up those fibers. And so folding that is easier to fold away from the score line. So because we're going to be going back and forth, I've kind of learned that what I like to do is skip my next score line, and then I'll flip my paper over and score those missed score lines on the other side, so it's easier to fold back and forth. So I'm going to start at 1 1/4 inches, and then I'm going to skip one and go to 3/4 inches, and then skip the 1 inch and go to the next 1/4 inch. And so what I'm doing is I'm going every 1/2 inch, starting on the 1/4 of an inch. And then I would just go all the way down my strip. Then I'm going to flip it over, and now I'm going to score the ones I missed. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch, 1 1/2 inch. And I would just repeat that all the way down my paper. Don't miss September's Paper Pumpkin Kit, Hello Pumpkin. This kit includes autumn-themed treat packages that you can use for both fall and Halloween. Subscribe between August 11th and September 10th, and the link to subscribe is listed below in the description box. And so that would give me a piece that looks like this. And what I've got is a score line that is scored on opposite every other one. And so when I am folding, it makes it an easier and cleaner fold as I'm creating that fan fold all the way down my paper. And there we go, all the way down. Okay, so I've got this nice fold. Just gonna go ahead and kind of make sure everything is nicely folded. Okay, so now we're gonna get our hot glue gun. So when using a hot glue gun, I like to use a silicone mat, and that just kind of helps pull the glue off the mat so I get a nice clean look on the top and bottom of my rosette. You'll notice that these two ends here both end down. So you could stack it like this. I've noticed that that just causes a problem for when, for the evenness of the rosette. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put those two ends together and just create a little thicker one at the end. And I can hide that underneath the ribbon. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of hot glue. You could also use the tear tape or any other strong adhesive for that. You just don't want it pulling off with the pressure from the rosette. Okay, so I've got that like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place some glue on this in the center of my silicone mat. And then I'm going to press I've got it standing up, and I'm going to bring that top edge together and then kind of just flip out the bottom edge. Sometimes it takes a little more time than it should. And then bring everything into that glue. So I'm kind of just bringing that glue in the center and pushing it nice and flat down. Okay, and then you just need to hold it until the glue dries. So once that glue dries, it just pulls off really nicely from that silicone mat. We're just going to go ahead and do another dot and place the top over and then let that sit and dry. And then that's just going to keep the rosette and hold it from both the top and the bottom. I'm just going to remove some of these extra strings from the hot glue. All right, so I'm just going to place that off to the side as it dries, and then let's go ahead and start putting our card together. So we're going to go ahead and fold the card base in half, and then use your bone folder to make a nice crease. To add the pattern paper to the front of our card, I'm going to use some liquid glue. And I like to use liquid glue just because it gives me some flexibility on placement. So I'm just going to add that and then try to make sure it lines up with all of the edges. And once I'm good with that, I can use, oh, it slid a little bit. I can use my bone folder to smooth out the glue. This is a really important step when you're using liquid glue, or you're going to get bumps. Okay, so like that. Then we're going to add the yellow piece to the middle of our card. And just kind of eyeball it. You can use the pattern on your pattern paper to kind of just line things up and make sure it's nice and even. All right, so for this card, I've kind of placed the rosette a little higher than center. If you like it in the center, you can bring it down a little bit. To place it, I'm just going to add some glue dots, or not glue dots, hot glue to the center, and then place this over that. I can find that joint and place it on the side that's going to be covered with the ribbon. So go ahead and add that. And now we're going to work with the ribbon. So we again have 6 inches of ribbon. You're just going to fold the ends and cut out a banner shape from each side. So using a good pair of scissors, I've folded the ribbon and I'm going to cut from the fold side to the corners. And that's just going to give me a nice banner shape. And then repeat on the other side. Like that. So to create our banner look with our ribbon, we're going to use dimensionals. And so what you can do is use the edge here of your dimensionals. And this is going to just kind of hold the ribbon in the shape that we want to use. So grab a pair of paper snips and you're just looking for maybe about 2 peaks. You're going to snip it and then cut it down the center, the lengthwise. So you're going to have some that are not quite straight, but it's about the same thickness, and then one that is straight. So line up using either grid paper or a ruler, and you're going to find an inch. So on my grid paper, that's 4 little squares. So I'm going to go ahead and find the inch and line it up there, and take the dimensional, and in the center of my ribbon, I'm going to apply this to that inside of the inch, like that. I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to fold that ribbon over itself, just like that. Okay, so now I've got a dimensional that's in between the ribbon. And then I'm going to flip it over so that the banner is on the bottom. And we're going to take that top piece and we're just going to lay it over the exact same spot. Just kind of like that. Remove the paper. And then fold it back on itself like that. And then give it some good pressure so that everything is nice and adhered. Okay, so then you've got kind of that folded ribbon look. We're going to repeat on this side. So again, measure an inch, cut your pieces. So we've got 2 like mountains of dimensionals there. That's how long it is. And then cut it in half. And then take one of the pieces and place it in the inside part of the inch. Remove the top and then just fold that ribbon on top of itself and give it some pressure. Place the banner on the bottom and then take that second part and place it just over that first one, so over that crease. And then fold it again, like that. So that when you turn it over, you have that banner look, okay? So not too difficult, just a couple extra steps. And then that's just going to go right there in the center of your card. And we're going to add that with some glue, hot glue again. So just a little hot glue right there in the center. Place that over. Just make sure it is even on your card. And then give it a little bit of pressure to make sure everything is nice and adhered. Okay, now if you want, you can add some adhesive to the bottom here of that card, or of that ribbon to your card. And so let's go ahead and do that with some of the glue dots. So you're just going to pick up a glue dot, kind of place it on your card's base where the ribbon is going to be, and then remove the paper. And then just kind of let your ribbon fall and then apply pressure where that ribbon is, okay? And then just let's do the same thing on this side. Okay, so that's a really fun look. And now we can do our stamping and finish our card. So you're going to take the small white circle from the kit and we're going to stamp our greeting. And I'm going to use the "You're the Best." Place that on my clear block. You can use the Pacific Point Stampin' Spot or a large ink pad. And just ink that up and stamp it in the center of your circle. We're going to add this to the center of the gold die cut. And then center on the gold. And then that's just going to get added to the card. And you could use hot glue if you have it around, or some other adhesive. Since I've got the hot glue here, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just make sure everything is nice and straight. And then the last thing we're going to add are some of the gold stars from the kit. And you get a lot of them so that you can use them in the shaker card as well as for embellishments on your other cards. Just going to use the glue dots again. And you're going to add 3 to the top. And you could do left to right or right to left, whatever, you know, however you like to place your embellishments. There's no right or wrong. I'm going to add some down here as well. Just make sure they're all adhered and then remove the paper backing. And then using the putty side, you're going to pick up a star and place it on the glue dot. I love how easy it is to pick these up with the pickup tool. If you don't have one, Stampin' Up! Does sell this one. I really love how you have different tips you can change out for this side, and then you can buy refills of the putty. And it's really easy to use. When it's all dried up, you just remove it and then just give it a quarter of a turn and you'll get more putty that comes out. You can purchase the pickup tool as well as any other supplies you need to make this card through my online shop, and the link for that is listed below in the description box, as well as all of the products needed. So this card is now all done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Visit creativechelsea.com for more information about Paper Pumpkin and to start getting your monthly kit. Have a creative day. Bye.